Good morning, everybody. So our announcements for this week are going to be a little different. You see, I'm here in holy grounds because I want to let you know that as of last Friday, it was decided that the youth group is allowed to return to in-person worship here in holy grounds. I'm really excited for us to get back together in community. It has been a blast being online and being able to do some things a little differently, but I do miss all of you guys, so I'm very excited to be here on Wednesday nights in person at 6 o'clock. There are a few very strict rules that we must abide by that the church leadership has requested of us as a youth ministry in order to be able to meet in person. Rule number 1, everyone must wear a mask while on campus. Now, if you do not have a mask, we do have masks that we can provide you. Rule number 2, everyone must have their temperature checked upon arrival to the church. We have infrared non-contact thermometers that we'll use to check everyone's temperature. And then lastly, number 3 is that we must stay 6 feet apart at all times. I will be putting out signs on the chairs, not as seat assignments, but just to show what exactly is 6 feet. With those 3 rules, there are 2 exceptions. When it comes to mask wearing, if you were preaching, which would be me, or it happened to be a student, if that's the case, you don't have to wear a mask while preaching. Or if you are a part of the youth praise band and you are on stage leading worship. Now, if you were sitting down in the seats, if you're hanging out in Hebrew Cafe, if you are hanging out on campus, you must be wearing a mask. Those are the only 2 exceptions to these rules. This is non-negotiable. This is what the church has kind of put forth, not just for the youth group, but itself as a whole. In fact, yesterday morning, Sunday morning for adult worship, we reopened back up and everyone wore masks. Everyone had their temperature checked when they showed up, and they stayed 6 feet apart. So this is not just like, well, you're teenagers, you're youth, you need to have more strict rules. That's not the case. This is a church-wide mandate for all worship services. Now, I want to make something abundantly clear. This sort of stuff has been very difficult for some to accept. It has been a hot button issue. It's been something that people fight over and debate over. If you do not feel comfortable with those rules, or you don't feel comfortable in being here in person, we totally understand. We love you and we miss you, and we will still be live streaming our Wednesday night youth worship on YouTube, all right? Just like we were when it was online only, it's the same thing. We will be live streaming here from the church. So you can still watch us online and still be a part of the youth worship service. The other thing that has been requested of us is that right now, and again, this is church-wide, this is not just specific to the youth ministry, that we only do worship while on campus. Hey guys, I forgot to mention one thing. When we get back to the new school year in a couple of weeks, traditionally we have an after-school program where everyone comes over from the high school, or they ride the bus from the junior high and come here. Until we are in the all clear to have everyone return to campus and operations are normal, please do not show up to the church after school on Wednesdays, just because I don't have the adult volunteers and we just can't have everyone here on Wednesdays once the school starts. We're only showing up at 6 o'clock in person in holy ground. All right guys, thanks. Back to the video. So that means our Wednesday night's going to be a little different. There is no small groups. There is no Bible studies. There is no D groups is what we do. It's our version of small groups. So on Wednesday, for the remainder of the month of August, we will have worship from 6 to 7 o'clock. We will not be meeting in discipleship groups from 7 to 7:30. We're not going to have games per se, but we will have some sort of activity that is socially distant. I'm not entirely sure what that looks like, but there will not be any contact between individuals. It's simply at your seats, and we'll stay 6 feet apart. But along with our activities, since the games section is a little bit more difficult to do socially distant, I'm going to be putting together some just really goofy videos that we'll watch. We'll have some icebreaker questions, just some different things to kind of cover that game time of our worship service. But we are back in person here this Wednesday from 6 to 7 o'clock in Holy Ground. So I look forward to seeing all of you back with us. And then only a couple other announcements that I have for you is that as many of you have seen, the state of Texas has pushed back the first day of school. So for the seniors of this year, this is the graduating class of 2021, I have been working very closely with your class president, and the senior parade that is happening on the first day of school is still happening. It's just now happening at a different date because your first day of school has been moved. But you can meet here at the church at 6:15 in the morning on your first day of school. Your class is providing food and beverage. There'll be some music played. There'll be a prayer that will be said over your class and over the school year. But you're not allowed inside the campus. The building will be locked down so that we don't infect the building, and that was just kind of the rules that was set for us when the church agreed to allow your senior class to meet. So I encourage you, if you're a senior, come on out to the senior parade. It's an awesome event. We have been hosting it at least 5 years. I think we've been hosting it before I got here. So yeah, look forward to that. If you are an incoming 6th grader, and really this applies to any students, it's just traditionally incoming 6th graders or 7th graders and 8th graders, we will be having confirmation. What that looks like right now, I'm not entirely sure, but I am putting together a calendar, and I will be meeting with Miss Sarah, the Director of Children's Ministry, and I'm also going to be meeting with Steve Woody, the senior pastor of the church, in order to kind of put together what we're going to be doing this year and how does confirmation look moving forward. Because right now we're honestly living week by week. And I don't want to say living week by week, but we're scheduling everything week by week. One of the things that was discussed last week at the Leadership Council is just some of the fear of what may happen when the school does open back up. I did read an article, I think it was Saturday morning, that Indiana opened up last week or the week before for school, and they're already in the process of trying to figure out how to shut down because they had a skyrocket in COVID-19 cases. And that's kind of a fear that the church has right now. So it may be kind of a hybrid confirmation class where some stuff may be online and some stuff may be in person. I do understand that Onalaska and some of the other school systems around Livingston doesn't necessarily fall in line with the same schedule of Livingston. So that's something that we're going to be addressing for the confirmation class and when we meet on Tuesday afternoons. So anyway, be looking out for all of this. We'll have our first meeting in September. Again, I'll have all this information to you as soon as possible. And then other than that, we will be meeting as a church leadership at the end of August to figure out how do we move forward as a church. The consensus right now is we really want to open back up completely, not just worship only, but open back up for Bible studies, for D groups, for classes, confirmation, scouting. We want to open up for everything in September. So I ask, please be in prayer for this church and the church leadership as they discern God's will and what is safe for all of you and for all the students, both in children's ministry and youth ministry who attend this church. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, call me, text me, DM me, and I'll do the best that I can to answer any of your questions. Guys, I love you and miss you very much. Just a quick reminder, we are in person again this Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m., so I look forward to seeing all of you then. Bye.